I think on realization nowadays.
Maheshwari not that thing. I don't know who that is. Yeah, exactly. We have. They're almost number 6. Just I remember I same thing. I'm lucky, that's it.
Hello? You're zooming it, alright?
But it's okay.
What you're talking to me or?
This time over covers. Excellent shot from the captain, Paras Katka. A much more sensible option, you'd have to say. And he finds the boundary, over covers. To swing early in the evening. Outside edge. Past the man at slip Ryan Pearl. Valiant effort, but that's going to go for 4. Just a bit of a wave shape we were talking about. Way from the body, Paras Katka. And those short boundaries we were talking about, once it got past that man, it slipped. Rain came down for the final, not a ball was bowled. It's going to be Neville Madziva once again to resume from the far end. And it's Arif Sheikh on strike. Fantastic shot, over point. It races away to the point boundary for 4 handsome runs. Good looking shot there from Arif. And a much needed boundary for the Nepal team. Races to 22 for 1 into the 6th over. Good looking shot that. It's a nice shot. Got the indication in the earlier over. Team half century against Bangladesh in the second game. In Chittagong. Good shot. Good shot. Excellent finish to the 6th over. We come to the end of the power play with an exquisite drive by the captain, Paras Katka. Much better from the captain, you'd have to say. He played a few, missed a plenty, finally makes good contact. And the score at the end of the power play, 30 for 1, Nepal. Definitely. And he's happy playing. Against the run of play. A soft dismissal there. Looked to turn it away on the leg side. Top edge. Loops straight back to the bowler, and Wellington Mazakatsa picks one up. Yeah, that's just stopped on the surface. Looking to punch that through the onside. Arif Sheikh, unfortunately, just gripping in the surface, holding up a little bit, and in comes the newly appointed vice captain of the Nepal team, Dipendra Singh Airi. Well, I saw a little bit of him at the Everest Premier League late last year, Tino, and he is quite a talented all-rounder, especially with the bat, stylish as it comes. And with Gyanendra Malla, Sharat Vesavkar, Basant Regmi, some of the senior names of this Nepal team missing, very rightly so, Dipendra Singh Airi, appointed as the vice captain to the Nepal side. It's going to be this live telecast in big numbers. Hang on, is that a wicket? They're appealing, I'm not too sure for what. Was that an LBW appeal? No, I think it's an appeal for the catch, which is why Ryan Burl is not happy with the umpires. He'll definitely feel that he's taken this one comfortably, and he has. I don't understand why this hasn't been given out. That's extraordinary. Right, for the very first time, we have Ryan Burl from the far end bowling some leg spin. He had a very impressive outing in Bangladesh. Will certainly be full of confidence. Swept well by Dipendra Singh Airi, and rightly so, gets himself 4 handsome runs there. Excellent looking shot. He loves playing the sweep shot, does Dipendra Singh Airi. Short in length, and he puts it away comfortably on the leg side. He's put that away nicely. Ryan Burl did bowl a few overs in Bangladesh. The problem that he had, especially coming on in his first over, was the fact Short again in the air. And gone. That's a good catch from Wellington Masakadza running in from the cow corner boundary. Paras Katka will be disappointed because this is really short. And an opportunity to score, but I think it's just held on the surface and turned again. Like you were talking about the previous delivery, and that's a really smart catch from Wellington Masakadza. Well, he was living. I'll come back to you right after this delivery. Ryan Burl to continue from the far end. Adventurous. Very adventurous. And value for money. No fielder there. Gets himself 4 runs. Excellent shot from the vice captain, Deependra Singh Airi there. Another look at it. Turns around for the switch hit. Makes good contact. Nobody in the boundary line. 1 bounce over the boundary. 4 valuable runs into the 40s. And then he tries that again. And guess what? 4 more. Very, very interesting tactics here from Deependra Singh Airi. Another switch hit, another boundary. And this is going to make the captain think, will Sean Williams change his field? 2 switch hits have resulted in 2 boundaries. Wow, that's obviously a shot that he plays well. One before this, he went up and over that man at backward point. This time, along the ground. Value for his shots. And this time, he plays the conventional sweep. And that's gone for 4 as well. So Ryan Burl just taking a bit of stick here. But definitely doesn't mind playing the crossbat shots to the spinners. Played the reverse twice. This time, conventional sweep. Nobody back at deep backward square. And gets another boundary. Yeah, Deependra Singh Airi looking very, very confident. 20 of just 13 deliveries. He got off the mark with a confident-looking sweep shot. And with 3 boundaries in this over, he's making Sean Williams and Ryan Burl think. And think they need to think fast because Sean Williams. Big hit, big hit. Has that cleared the boundary line? There's 2 fielders there. Wicket number 4 for Zimbabwe. Excellent catch in the deep. They've taken their catches, and this time it was Wellington Masakadza not making any mistake. Kushal Malla. That was the long side off the ground. He had to connect well to clear the boundary. Couldn't do that on this occasion. And it's wicket number 4 right at the halfway mark for Zimbabwe. And Zimbabwe continue to dominate the little that we've seen in match number 1 of the Singapore Tri-Nations T20I, brought to you by Instarem. Short ball, a miss from the keeper. And we're lucky enough to get 4 runs, Nepal. We come to the end of the 12th over, and Nepal lucky enough to get 4 runs there. 67 for 4, with Deependra Singh Airi batting on 27. They still have Karan Casey in the... Think and bat through these next few overs. Gone down for the sweep shot again. Quicker delivery from Sean Williams, and really was just a case of helping that ball on its way. Sandeep Johra. Sean Williams looking to fire this one in. Looked like he had already decided he was going to play the sweep shot. Inside the line of the ball and just helped that on its way to the boundary. That's the 5th boundary he's got himself by playing this.
And obviously to start off now, to get going with the cricket is even better.
Obviously coming from the tour of Bangladesh, we registered a win in the last game against Afghanistan. We see that sweep shot being employed again by the batsman from Nepal, Johra. He gets another boundary. Just talk to us a little bit about the team. Obviously, senior guns have gone home, the majority of them, and a lot of the youth, and it's mixing with the experience. Your thoughts on some of those younger players coming into the side and their contribution?
Where we now, as a batting department, we've got to work hard to get some openers coming up.
In the air, and a good catch from Regis Chakaba eventually. So Zimbabwe get another wicket. Neville Madziva, this time using the short ball, getting onto the batsman rather quickly. All he managed to do was just get the top edge, and just Chakaba taking a decent catch in the end. So another wicket falls.
Thought there would be a lot more runs than what is on the board at the moment, but it does seem to be taking a lot of turn. So we would have been happy chasing something around the 140 region.
All right, Stewie, all the best, and we'll hope to have a bit more of you in the commentary box as the tournament progresses.
Cheers, thanks, Tino.
And as Stewie goes, 6 wicket falls for Nepal. Ireed was in top form, 40 from 32 for him. Nepal now are reduced to 95 for 6.
They needed the set batsman to be in the centre right up till the very end. Dipinder Singh Irie getting out pretty much at exactly the wrong time. 40 valuable runs of just 30, especially in the Everest Premier League. He can certainly play the long ball. Should he have been in the centre at the moment? That's the big question. But Tendai Chatara, 2.5 overs for just the 5 runs. Excellent bowling here from Zimbabwe. A swing. There's a fielder at mid-wicket there. Goes over mid-wicket. And what is the first 6 of the evening? Excellent shot from Sompal Kami. Made good contact right out of the meat of the bat. And there was a fielder at the boundary line. But he clears deep mid-wicket, and the first boundary, the first big 6 of the innings. Full toss once again, put away. Poor delivery there from Madziva. Full toss on leg stump, asking to be hit, and Binod Bandari puts that away for 4 runs. Was a disciplined effort with the ball so far.
This is what Zimbabwe struggled with in Bangladesh quite often. Early wickets, we talked about Tendai Chatara providing that for them.
Coverage from the Indian Association here in Singapore. And it's going to be Tendai Chatara to finish off the first innings. 3 overs, 1 for 15 thus far. Full toss. There's a man in the deep there. 6 runs to start off the final over. Excellent shot there from Sompal Kami. And that's 6 number 2.
Yeah, you cannot afford to be bowling to Sompal Kami in this area. Low full toss from Tendai Chatara. And once again, talking about too many full tosses from the Zimbabwean bowlers at the end. We said that 120 would be a good effort if they got there. They're 121. Now for 6 with 5 balls to go in the innings. So good effort at the rear end.
Another full toss. Make that 6 number 3. And guess what? A no ball signaled by the umpire. Suddenly a shift in momentum. Nepal are piling on the runs in the final couple of overs. 3 sixes in the last 7 deliveries. And erratic from the Zimbabwean bowlers.
Yeah, the Zimbabwean bowlers need to be unhappy about the manner in which they've gone these last couple of overs. Spinners have been particularly good, and so too were the seamers in the beginning part of this innings. At the moment, they are just...
One final time, it's Tendai Chatara to Binod Bandari. Here we go. A swing and a miss once again. Binod Bandari stakes a single. And that is the end of the first innings. Nepal versus Zimbabwe. And Nepal finish at 132 for 6. Zimbabwe will come out in a 20-minute slot. And they're going to be chasing 1-3-3 for victory in match number 1. Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching live coverage of the Singapore Tri Series, brought to you by Instarem. All right, we're back with live action. Second innings, and the Zimbabweans are going to be chasing 133 for a win in match number 1. You're watching live coverage of the Singapore Tri-Nation T20I series brought to you by Instagram.
Zimbabwe a couple of days ago wasn't part of the Tri series in Bangladesh. Short, pulled away, gone for 4. Authoritative shot from Brian Chari.
Fantastic, confident-looking start for the Zimbabweans here. 1 bounce over the boundary line and the first boundary of the innings for the Zimbabweans. Nepal will have to be on the mark right from the get-go because they don't have too much to defend. 133 is all that Zimbabwe need. Short ball. This time on the offside. Fantastic cut there. Found the gap to precision to the right, to the left of the backward point fielder, to the right of third man, and it's boundary number 2 in the first over. Brian Chari is well on his way.
Yeah, Brian Chari, talented cricketer. Any opportunity to score runs, he will not pass up on. Seen the pull shot a couple of balls ago. This time, conventional late cut behind point. Again, punched off the back foot by Brian Chari.
He's making this look easy. Brian Chari make that 3 in 3, a hat-trick of boundaries, and Zimbabwe are racing along. 12 for no loss with 2 balls to spare in the very first over, and suddenly Sompal Kami is under pressure.
Not the start that Nepal would have wanted. We were talking just before the break about what they would want to do. The first thing was definitely get early wickets, keep the Zimbabwean batsman as quiet as possible in this opening period. Fortunately, he's just been a bit too short in his length, Sompal Kami. Brian Chari has taken advantage of that. Again, wonderful fielding.
Nepal's biggest cricket sensation. There you go. Spin right away for Sandeep Lamichhane. This is going to be a very interesting passage of play. Their best spinner against the top order of the Zimbabwean batting lineup.
Absolutely. Wonderful delivery on the mark straight away. Lamichhane, who's just returned from the Caribbean, where he was taking part in the Caribbean Premier League. But straight away, ball 1. Good length, drawing the batsman forward, turning past the outside edge.
Yeah, it wasn't the best of seasons for the Barbados Tridents in the Caribbean Premier League for Sandeep Lamichhane's team, but he did his bit, was consistently amongst the wickets, as he always is. It doesn't matter whether it's the Indian Premier League or the Big Bash League in Australia or the Caribbean Premier League, Sandeep Lamichhane is always amongst the wickets. The big question is, can he trouble the Zimbabwean top order? Now, wayward from Lamichhane here, short in the leg side. Difficult for the wicketkeeper on that occasion, and runs away for a much-needed boundary here.
That's naughty from the keeper. He's not gone down the leg side to try and cover that ball if it goes past Regis Chakabva. Really expect that he would try and get his gloves behind there. He could have saved that boundary. We can't afford many at the moment, Nepal. Zimbabwe have got away to an absolute flyer. In the air and gone. He's just pushed at that Regis Chakabva, and it's carried. Good catch taken. We spoke about early wickets being the order of the day for Nepal. Good catch. And the first wicket falls.
Fantastic. This is exactly what Paras wanted from Sandeep. A little bit of air. And Regis Chakabva, ball number 1, all he could do is manage to lob it straight to short cover. Excellent sharp catch there. And Nepal strike wicket number 1. from the pavilion end, debutant Kushal Malla. Going to be interesting to see how he goes about his proceedings. He's going to be bowling to Brian Chari. And Chari continues where he left off at the end of the first over. Boundary off the first ball. Vacant mid-wicket region. And he takes the debutant to the boundary line in his first delivery.
This is a good shot from Brian Chari, and he's looking to continue getting on with things.
We're back live here for over number 4, and a remarkable catch there. Sandeep Lamichhane, guess what? Gets Mutambotsi or not. Fantastic, and Nepal are back in this game. How about that for a catch? Certainly the catch of the day so far.
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Poor shot from Tino Mtombodzi. There was a man back at long off anyway. Not the shot you want to play when you haven't got any runs on the board. He goes for naught, 27 for 2, Zimbabwe. Other than that, struggled throughout the series. We'll be looking to have a good start to this one. It's gone straight up in the air, and Sandeep Lamichhane has got another. It's the captain, Sean Williams, who goes, and at the moment, the Zimbabwean innings in tatters. The captain, Sean Williams, just faces one ball. He's gone for naught, and Zimbabwe now reduced to 28 for 3.
Lamichhane at the moment. It's going to be Kushal Malla to continue from the pavilion end. Much better, more confident looking strike there. A direct hit. It has to be out. The umpire, yes, he raises his finger. And that's wicket number 4 for Nepal. Remarkable passage of play for Nepal here. And the only batsmen who look like getting some sort of runs will have to walk back to the pavilion. Have a look at that. They've been outstanding on the field. Directed, straight forward for the umpire. Took no time in raising his finger. Tino, what in the world is happening here?
Absolutely brilliant. Again, Ryan Bull, this time in between the keeper and Paras Katka at first slip, and goes to the boundary for 4.
In conducting this tournament, and while I say that, an excellent cover drive from Ryan Burl finds the gap on the offside, and a much needed boundary for Zimbabwe. Excellent shot there.
Nicely played by Ryan Bull, just given a little bit of width. Mid-off is up in the circle, and that just gives you an indication of how seen him turn his arm over in one-day cricket. Firmly struck by Timson Maruma. That's a good shot. Risk-free, and I say that because he's bowling around the wicket. Ball turning into him. Very nicely struck by Timson Maruma. The long levers clears that long on boundary comfortably. 4 overs. Make sure we play him out, and we've still got 16 other overs to play with people who are not so threatening. But talking about threatening, straight through the gate. Paras Katka, Timson Maruma looking to play the forward defensive, and this has just gone in between bat and pad and onto the middle stump. That's really well bowled, a little bit of turn, and the captain has played a hand here. So Timson Maruma is the man to go. 10 overs gone, 64 for 5. Captain a bit earlier on, the Ryan Bill had made his ground. Richmond Mutumbami flexes his muscles and finds the gap wide of the man at long on. Length delivery. And quite comfortably putting that away for 4.
Well, once it races past the 30-yard circle, there's not much the fielder can do because it's a very quick outfield here at the Indian Association. And not the friendliest of outfields, so you want to be careful before you dive here because it is very... Big shot, big shot. Has that gone the distance? Yes, it has. A much-needed boundary for Zimbabwe. And Richmond Mutumbami suddenly pulls things back for Zimbabwe. Plays through the line. Didn't do much off the pitch. 6 handsome runs.
Smart cricket from Richmond Mutumbami, taking advantage of those short, straight boundaries. And especially with the man not turning the ball much, but if it does into him, it's definitely a shot that he'll consider. He plays it well.
And another one, 6 more.
Bang!
Strike down. Well, it almost came down to us at the commentary box. 12 in 2 and Zimbabwe are right back in this. Dipendra Singh Irie, very different tactics to what Sandeep Lamichhane did. Lamichhane was happy to give it some air, give it some revs. Dipendra Singh Irie is darting it in. And Mutumbami is not complaining.
Not at all. Good shot from Richmond Mutumbami.
It's the shorter straight boundaries once again that Mutumbami is using to his advantage. Boy, oh boy, do we have a game on our hands. 2 bounces to the captain at long on once again. The equation suddenly looks a lot more different now. 36 required of 30 and it is game on. When you look through the numbers, Tino, if you keep Lamichhane's spell out of consideration, Zimbabwe has scored 82 for the loss of just 1 wicket, or rather 2 wickets, in 11 overs. So they've obviously targeted the other bowlers, but what they probably should have done better in hindsight was play out Lamichhane a lot more sensibly from the get-go.
Absolutely. You're spot on, Nav. Maybe that inexperience as we talk about the batting lineup. A lot of youngsters coming through for Zimbabwe. But the most important thing will be, have they learned the lesson the next time that they take him on?
And it's going to... Well, Zimbabwe obviously have learned that lesson. Singapore will be watching this game very closely. Boy, oh boy, the beauty of T20 cricket. Zimbabwe started off well. Nepal crawled themselves back towards the end of the first innings. They started well, did Zimbabwe, in the second innings. Then came the Sandeep Lamichhane factor. And here we are with Zimbabwe fighting back once again. Mind you, in everything that was happening, Avinash Bora with the ball in hand, and we saw what he did just now. And that's what he can do at a ridiculous consistency, is bowling those Yorkers. They call him the Lassit Malinga of Nepal cricket for a reason. Watch out for those Yorkers. A good looking shot. Is that another 6? Yes, it is. A slower delivery by Avinash Bora, and Mutumbami is hitting it well. A clean strike over long off. And 6 more to the total. Zimbabwe are right back in this, and it's probably safe to say that it's advantage Zimbabwe at the moment.
Taking advantage of those short, straight boundaries.
On a Friday evening, exciting T20 action. It doesn't get more exciting than this. Mutumbami is taking on the Nepali bowlers here. Make that 6 number 4 in just 2 overs. And he's turning this game on its head. Oh, he's clearing this boundary with ease, is Mutumbami. He's taking advantage of the short, long, straight boundaries. 38 in just 24 deliveries. And the umpires will have to call for a new ball because this ball is out of here.
His experience, and I did say I'd be happy to play second fiddle to Ryan Bill because he knows that he can accelerate later in his innings. Played a very similar innings in Bangladesh.
And that's the beauty of T20 cricket, isn't it? In just a matter of 2 overs, he's turned the course of this game with 4 lusty hits. Ryan Bill getting into the act this time. 6 runs this time to the left-handed Ryan Bill. And Zimbabwe are looking at finishing this game off in a canter. 5 sixes in a little over 2 overs. Oh, we're seeing some fantastic T20 cricket here. It was the ball that was dominating the first 30-odd overs of this game. But in just the last 3 overs, it's the bat that's doing all the talking.
Now the 7th, 6th in the Zimbabwean innings. Ryan Bill starting to get a move on now. 28 from 30 for him. Supporting Richmond Mutumbami well. This time he goes along the ground and wide of the man at long off. And that's going to be another boundary. So Zimbabwe now chasing down this total with absolute ease.
Fantastic. Playing through the line once again. Punches it through the offside. No chance whatsoever for the long off fielder. 4 more runs. We've already seen 17 runs of this over with 1 delivery to go. Kushal Malla unfortunately has taken 6 runs. Oh my goodness gracious. Zimbabwe are turning it on here. 23 runs of a Kushal Malla over, and they need just 4 to win with 3 overs to spare. Zimbabwe have pretty much sealed game number 1. 17 overs completed, 129 for 5, just 4 required in 3 overs.
Two required then for Zimbabwe. And Ryan Bill gets Zimbabwe across the line.
And there you go, we come to the end of match number 1 of the Singapore Tri-Nations T20I here in Singapore. Zimbabwe registering an excellent win at the end with 5 wickets to spare, but that didn't look like is going to be the case at the halfway mark. Courtesy an excellent piece of leg spin bowling by Sandeep Lamichhane. But barring the Lamichhane factor, Zimbabwe have been very good in seeing the Nepali bowlers through.
Absolutely. You could see the experience in the 2 Zimbabwean batsmen at the crease at the end. Wonderful knock from Richmond Mutumbami. 40 from 28. Ryan Bill, 41 from 36 to get Zimbabwe across the line.